camera set for backpacking. Backpacking camera tech. All the camera gear I carry with me when I'm traveling only with a backpack, and that seems a lot to me. This still includes the 70D, which I state of now don't have anymore. I now have the Canon EOS M50. Canon EOS 70D digital SLR camera body only. Although a DSLR is heavy to pack, shooting with something else is just not worth it. Canon EFS 18-200mm f 3.5 to 5.6 IS standard zoom lens for Canon DSLR cameras. We both know that this lens is not the best for every focal length it offers, but at the same time you can't always carry 4 different prime lenses, so lenses with fixed zoom basically, with you and change them all the time. Your sensor gets dusty, you risk dropping your precious lenses and you have to carry them all. So this is the point where you have to make a decision, in my case to compromise on picture quality and get a zoom lens. Joby GorillaPod SLR Zoom, flexible tripod for DSLR and mirrorless cameras, up to 3 kilograms. It's actually quite useful. My thought when buying it without the head was that I would get a cheaper one and could mount a Swiss mount on top of it, but the cheaper head couldn't hold the weight of the 70D paired with the 18-200 zoom lens. So I ended up using it without any head, but that restricts your range of motion, meaning possible camera position really much, and if you want to change something, you always have to adjust all 3 of the legs, and it's already not that stable anymore. So I will upgrade to the GorillaPod Focus and use this for smaller cameras or other stuff. HTC Desire I. Okay, it's 2018, so that's when I used this for my journey through Europe, and this is the phone I had at this time. I now have a Galaxy S10. Okay, it's 2018 and this phone came out a few years ago, but the chip is the same as the HTC One M8. And it's just perfect for selfies. When traveling, I have the tradition to take a selfie with every person I get to know. You have the exact same camera on the front as on the rear, and you even have a flash with 2 different LED colors on the front, so you can film yourself with built-in video light. Quite convenient. The screen-to-body ratio is not the best, but it is waterproof, the screen is good, micro SD up to 128GB, dedicated camera button, which is just dope, and it even supports USB OTG on the go. I don't use my camera in between my phone and my DSLR anymore, so I only have these 2 devices. Either you make the decision to carry the weight of a DSLR or you don't. And when you don't, you always have your small photo and video camera with you in your pocket. CSL 7-in-1 USB 2.0 OTG card reader. If you don't have a laptop with you, which you usually don't when backpacking, this USB OTG hub comes in really handy. And when you sometimes visit a city carrying all your stuff with you, a laptop is not always the best option. Depending on the phone you use, you can transfer files at once up to 30GB. Thing is, you can even charge through the hub, which means if you transfer files overnight, your phone doesn't die, but you can only use either the microSD or the SD card slot. Fun fact, I am recording this with the Zoom H6 I have, and I'm using exactly this adapter with my newer phone, the Galaxy S10, to get the audio into my phone and record this screen recording simultaneously, so this is still in use. Of course, nowadays you have hubs for notebooks, which you also can use on your phone, and you can even plug hard drives into phones these days. At least if you format them, and also if they don't have like 4 terabytes, because then the external power source so the power coming through the USB-C connection often isn't enough for the external drives to power them. Then we have 2 SD cards, the Transcend 32GB SDHC Class 10 UHS 1 flash memory card, and we have the same one again, and I bought them years ago when 250 gigabytes didn't exist. Then I also have a 128 gigabyte SanDisk micro SD XC UHS1 card. I actually have 2 of these EXA cards. Right now I think I even got more of them, and I also got 100. So I got a 400 gigabyte card right now, which is my phone. And I had a big mysterium going on, so a big mystery going on. Because recording full HD 24 frames per second with the first card on my 70D seemed to work just fine. It only stopped after the built-in maximum recording time. But the second card just stopped full HD video randomly out of nowhere. But when I was traveling and my other cards were full, I had to use the second one, and it just stopped all the time. When I wanted to buy another card, I had a very long discussion with a sales guy about the class of the cards and the different writing speeds. It shouldn't be, he said. So I bought the 64 gigabytes micro SD with the exact same reading and writing speeds and labels, and it worked seamlessly. But I don't know yet what the problem was. I didn't know yet what the problem was. After a few days, I finally found the reason for the lack of performance. I had never formatted the card with the camera, within the camera. Apparently, I did it with the other card. So, some time ago, and then it worked. My problem was solved. So, never forget to format your SD cards. Then I have a 64 gigabyte SanDisk with the same specifications and also with an adapter. Then the Patona Dual Charger LPE6 for Canon batteries, 70D, EOS 60D, Mark II, 5D Mark II, 6D, 7D. This is just the best. It charges 2 LPE6 at the same time. While you are sleeping, you can charge 2 batteries and you don't have to wake up in the middle of the night just to change the charging battery, which is something I had to do before. It charges both almost at the same speed as the Canon charger, and the big bonus, you only need one free USB Type-A port, a USB to micro USB cable, which I have plenty of, and you probably also, because apart from my notebook or laptop, almost everything I own charges with micro USB and USB-C nowadays. And you are good to go. You can even charge your batteries without a socket. You just need a power bank and you can charge them in your backpack on the go. That's a roundup. Bundlestar Backstar Pro Energy quality battery for Canon LPE6N. For less than half the price of an original Canon LPE6, you get a battery that in terms of shooting time gets you 90 to 100% compared to the original. I have one and it's my main battery because I wanna spare my original LPE6. When only taking pictures on a city trip, it lasts all day. When you are shooting video and photo, most of the time you will need 2 to 3 batteries a day. 3 only if you record, let's say, 3 to 4 hours of video. Of course, also depends on display brightness. About buying cheaper ones than this battery, it didn't work for me. I bought one and that sucks all the time. I got rid of it. Maybe 20% of shooting time compared to the original one. Compark Action Cam, Compark 4K Sport camera, Wi-Fi underwater camera helmet, camera 170 degree wide angle with 32 class memory card. Remote. I needed a GoPro, but if I bought one, it would have been $500. And I never had an action camera before, and because I wasn't sure how much I would use an action cam, I wanted to try it out first. Got it for $50 off a special offer on Amazon. It's not the best in the world, the audio isn't really usable, but I guess that's a problem with most of the action cams. And the image is not quite DSLR-like, but I guess that comes also with an action cam. So I researched for the best camera in this price range, and I bought this one. And was surprised as F. First of all, it comes with all the gear you need. Water housing, lots of mounts, 32 gigabytes micro SD, 2 batteries and even another housing for mounting it with the water housing. Without the water housing. It even comes with a remote control for your wrist. When cruising with a board through a city, for example a skate or longboard, you just wear the cam on your forehead and press record, so with a cap, or take a picture. Usually you would almost pay $50 alone for all the equipment that it comes with. And the cam itself is also surprisingly good. There are a lot of factors that got me into buying this one. There is a time-lapse mode, good frame rates, but I usually use the Full HD mode because the image is cleaner than in 4K. I could write a lot more about this thing, but the thing is, if you want to try out an action cam for $50 or $60, you get everything in one package and a camera that is really good for the price. It still holds up, it still is a good camera, although when you have the chance to use a phone these days, you get better quality almost in any case. So it is only an action cam is only for the use cases where you cannot use a phone because it is very risky or it is not waterproof or something like that. Joby GorillaPod 5K, professional tripod 5K stand and ball head, 5K for DSLR cameras or mirrorless cameras with lenses up to 5 kg. Or with lens up to 5 kg. I now use this one instead of the old one, the old GorillaPod Zoom. Looks better ball head, but it is also heavier.